The connection's back. If you guys missed the first episode, Victoria and Gloria talked about working as formulators at a huge beauty conglomerate, L'Oreal, shared behind-the-scenes insider knowledge and tips on all things sunscreen from ideal textures to tricky formulation and proper application. Vel and I also shared our favorite SPFs to get their professional thoughts and verdict. In this episode, we turn the tables and let the duo share their skincare routine, which completely surprised us. We'll also cover more of your burning questions on sunscreen pricing, ingredients, labeling, and how much to apply. Lastly, there'll be a giveaway, so keep an eye and ear out for that towards the end.
So we are so excited to have them on because they have a wealth of knowledge in the formulation and product kind of development realm of things. They came out with a book, which you guys, this should be a skincare Bible. Yeah, like everything that you guys love about kind of like infographics and breaking down really complex and complicated issues within skincare. They do it so like in a fun, easily digestible way with little characters that they drew themselves. So we're gonna get into all of that in this video. But without further ado, let's get into it.
As consumers who may be overwhelmed with everything that's been happening within the sunscreen skincare world.
We can't keep up.
Yeah. What would you recommend consumers look out for so that, you know, as like a regular person going to the store, you're like, oh, this should be good enough. Or like, this should be more than enough.
The good thing is, SPFs have to be tested in order to sell. So in terms of packaging, you're generally fine. You don't have to think about like jar versus tube format. Really what you want to look for is just have a checklist of claims, right? So first thing, make sure you see a expiration date, just like we talked about. Are you getting the right level of SPF protection, which is for UVB only, right? And so we always like to tell people 30
to 50 is your golden spot.
Right.
Yeah.
Just because, you know, you're getting a good level of protection and you're not trading off too much on texture, which really is what's going to drive you to maintain that proper protection and reapply. And then we also talk about water and sweat.
Water and sweat resistance. I really know what you're using the sunscreen for. Without the test, there's so many times that I just pick up whatever sunscreen I have for my daily use, go for a run during summer, and you'll see white streaks coming down. The sweat is very damaging to a lot of chemical films that's going to help set that protection level for you. We say look for broad spectrum in the US. Now, this goes into another big can of worms of how UVA protection testing is different around the world. But we always say there's some brands out here now that's doing the Japanese like PD test. So you'll see the PA++ signs on those bottles for your daily protection. Those might be a good sign to look for as well.
The reason why Gloria brings that up is because broad spectrum is kind of this overarching claim that you are getting some sense of UVA protection.
How much?
Exactly. Just how much you're getting, that's where the PA++, those kinds of labels really help. And it's good that we're seeing more and more brands, even in the US, adopting that method. So kudos.
Should people depend on like moisturizers with sunscreen as their sunscreen step? Like, what would you say to that?
No, I think they definitely can. Minimalists. I personally am one. I totally, if you save me extra steps, highly appreciate it. You know, so I think that's totally fine. Again, it just comes down to your lifestyle. You know, if you're a sweater, I can sometimes be one. You know, sometimes that format doesn't quite work. Being a little oilier, it's hard to want to layer moisturizer multiple times throughout the day. So that would be like my challenge.
So this is a question for people with like medium, olive, darker skin tones. What do you think are the best tips that they can take away when they're trying to find a new sunscreen?
Give chemicals a chance.
Yeah, really, like
give it a chance.
We
Come on,
realize there's
people.
a lot of things you'll find on the internet sounds a little scary. Like chemical sunscreens had like a tough run of PR recently. But just know that right now the sun is an enemy. You know, the mineral formulas aren't perfect yet. So please just give chemical a chance.
Yeah.
Try European sunscreen if you can't find a friendly texture in the US for you.
And in the US, you know, sometimes when it's just really difficult, there's nothing wrong with going down to an SPF 30.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes tinted is sadly a hit or miss.
Yeah.
It's like foundation, you know, it's just sometimes it doesn't work for all tones. You've got a little more yellow pigment in your skin.
Like too pink.
Exactly. So it's not always foolproof, I guess, but if you can't take the SPF 50, even just SPF 30, you're doing something for your skin. You're getting protection, so you'd go for that.
For international sunscreen, I recommend the European because Asian sunscreens, especially the ones that claim like tone up or like they like the more pale look. So even for someone like me, I'm considered tan in Asia in some places.
Drives me nuts.
Yeah, so you will get a different type of surprise where those tones tend to skew like a little purple and a little bright. So some of the ones I've tried, I really like them for maybe winter, and even for someone like me, it makes me look a little funky.
Which means that there's a lot of Asian sunscreens that don't work for my skin at all.
Yeah.
So I have a question about pricing.
Yes.
So we can find sunscreens across the like spectrum.
We saw one for
how?
$189 the other day.
Oh my gosh.
What
Okay.
brand is this?
So like, does the affordable one still offer the same protection? I mean, it's hard to say, right? Brand to brand, testing to testing, but like, is there something we can follow or like keep note of? Like, how do we approach pricing with sunscreen?
So, like
So wait, okay,
texture-
why is the 189 189?
Yeah.
We don't know.
We don't know.
No
It's a good
freaking
question.
clue.
So we do say that, like texture, you need a pricing that is gonna make you wanna apply liberally. If it feels like you're dabbing it on like Gwyneth because it's so precious, it's not. You're just not gonna apply it correctly.
Yeah.
You know.
There's nothing wrong with a drugstore sunscreen. Being an indie brand ourselves, we definitely advocate for indie brands, but sunscreens is a place where we totally understand like big company sunscreen because that means they have the budget to do all the proper testing. They're also very afraid of a class action lawsuit, so you know they're gonna do their due diligence behind it. Sometimes it's tough for even our followers to hear, but skin cancer is no joke, and that's why, you know, it's okay. You don't have to spend
Like,
you know,
$80,
$80 price
$90,
tag on a
yeah.
sunscreen. Yeah.
Save it for the serums. If you have the budget, something like a La Roche-Posay, like the 30 or even like the Mirror at the $60 mark, you might find them slightly more elegant texture that they're more willing to spend the money on that. But there is nothing in my book that justifies anything above $100. We're seeing more of that come up, and they're still subject to the same testing to get that claim. They're not gonna work 2 times as well as a Neutrogena one, you know.
But I think the $60 price tag for me, if you think about it as your anti-aging serum, it's not the worst thing to spend your money on too.
So when they test the sunscreens, how much should we be using to get the protection that's labeled?
That is a great question. We've seen a lot of videos like, you know, measuring out and whatnot, and the reality is you're not going to be measuring out every day. So one is always use more than you think you need. And 2 is like we kind of like put on your hand. It should be a substantial amount on your hand and make sure like it just takes some time to rub in. That's kind of a floofy answer, but the reality is like if it takes you a solid 20-30 seconds to rub in, that's probably the right level. If you can apply and run, then that's probably a little under applying.
Would you guys say the 2-finger rule is
It's
like a streak?
2 streaks?
2
for
streaks?
us, we would try to recommend maybe applying a little more than that.
Okay.
You think about 2-finger. Everyone's now we've got 2. Everyone's got the 2-finger gun. So, but if you think about one, you know, this roll and you're applying, right? It's hard to say because now you also have to think about your product, the orifice spout, like that volume that you're applying, right? So I would say that the idea is to apply a little more than that would be bueno.
For me, what works for me is application time. If I'm rubbing it, if it takes me a little bit to rub in, then that's probably a good timing.
And then you know how they say it's always best to use 20-30 minutes before actually going outdoors? Is that legit? Does it make a difference?
Typical testing time, 15 to 20 minutes for their actual protocols. So they're following generally that rule, but it's not like, oh my God, I applied it
Now I have to wait.
30 minutes.
Yeah.
I got 30 minutes,
Like, why is that? Does it activate or something?
No.
Like, what is the reasoning behind that?
No, it's a standard number where they want to make sure that the film is absorbed because everybody's skin is different. So that's just how that is. It's not like, oh my God, it's just like the particles need to start working and waking up and drink their coffee and then go work.
No, it doesn't work like that.
And they're all like, wake up! It's time to get to work.
So I guess now's a good time to flip the question to you guys for you guys to share your favorite sunscreens.
Yes.
And why.
And routine, we want to know everything.
Yes. I have dry skin, so I have a pretty full morning routine. I'm layer heavy both morning and night. So in the morning, I use our Aquafix for a hydrating gel. I will use vitamin C. Sometimes it's on rotation because of given what we do, we try new products.
I'm sure you guys too, yeah.
Yeah, my base level staple is the timeless vitamin C, so a classic C ferulic. Then I'll use a moisturizer, which is also often on rotation because we're either developing new products or I'm trying other products. And then I'll use an SPF. My favorite has been, I do like Asian textures.
Oh, wait, sorry. Wash or no wash?
Oh, in the morning, splash of water. I don't wash my face. Yeah.
I've been doing that too, or just like a cotton pad.
Yeah, exactly. I do like, when I'm feeling fancy, I also do the cotton pad with a toner or just water, just a quick wipe down. But I haven't found my cotton pad container since I moved recently. So recently it's been a splash of water.
So that simplifies things.
Yes, exactly. My favorite sunscreens tend to be in the Asian aisle. During the pandemic, I've used the Kanable Alley, the ALLIE Extra UV. You can find that on Amazon here. What I love about them is they test for abrasion and they advertise like rub resistant. So they position it. It's a bigger tube than most because they position it for face and body. And they'll always say that this is how you avoid the farmer's tan. But for me last year, it helped me avoid the mask tan. So I really appreciate that.
Amazing.
So that's my recent favorite.
Yeah.
And my routine.
Gosh, there's so many funny TikToks about the mask tan.
Oh god, yeah.
Like people have like inverse ski goggle kind of tans.
So not everyone just had to go ski to even that out.
Yeah. Gloria, for your skincare routine, is it the same like morning and night, or is there like shift towards extra nourishment or anything like that?
For me, I typically keep it the same because I'm really, we used to pre-COVID travel a lot, so I don't like bringing like bottles for morning and bottles for night. I do add a face oil if I'm feeling like my nighttime routine is like not doing it enough, or balm. It depends. Balms are more travel friendly. Rowena would know sometimes if you just embalm your face with like just good old Vaseline.
She loves those stick balms.
I do.
Or like stick serum things that you can touch
Yeah.
up during the day.
Sometimes like dry skin people just need that extra layer of occlusive, which is not the most popular texture because you're talking about waxes, you're talking about petrolatum, you know, like things are greasy. But sometimes you just need to grease it up.
We should just like smush faces and like
ooh.
be one. Transfer. And then we reach an equilibrium.
That's a great point.
Which I find a lot of dudes have that skin. Like they're like, oh, I don't know, I don't do anything for my skin, and it's beautiful.
Perfect.
Yeah, but like, is there a scientific reason why that is? Well, it's hormones,
Genetically
right?
blessed.
Sadly, yes. Genetics is a big factor.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm oily, acne. Oh man, so I do
That
not
was like an AA. I'm oily.
I've been struggling with acne.
Yeah, for decades. It's been really hard. So I do a simple cleanse. One of the things probably that has changed significantly is just how I cleanse, because I used to look for the squeaky clean. I thought I needed to have no oil on my face to make sure I would have no acne, which is not how that works. So I use our very gentle gel Blink Slate cleanser. And then I don't moisturize, I actually just sunscreen. I get very self-conscious in the afternoon because I feel like if the light hits me just right, I'm just gonna start like glowing in all the wrong ways.
Your routine is cleansing and then sunscreen?
Yeah, I just skip moisturizing because
Is it always like that?
No, so actually great point. Yeah, that's typically during the summer. When you hit winter time, I definitely do have like a light gel cream or, you know, the one that Gloria mentioned, Aquafix. I'll just do that and then have sunscreen, but it's like pretty minimal. I didn't mention like if I break out, there's a whole routine for that too. There is some upkeep at night where I'll use, you know, a blend of, our specialist has mandelic, salicylic, and niacinamide. Something more for upkeep, and then if it's really gets close to a bad, the blood moon arrives. Adapalene.
The wolves are howling.
You can just feel it in your pores.
Yeah. So adapalene definitely is. I'm so happy it's OTC, but that would be one I would incorporate. Yeah.
Would your sunscreen, because you just cleanse and sunscreen, is it a little bit moisturized or is it just any sunscreen can work?
I should have prefaced with the fact that I like sunscreens that feel a little bit more lotiony, like creamy. It feels substantial, like Gloria's mentioning, you're rubbing it in, you know, so that's what my sunscreen tends to be, like an Enthelios. This one's a little bit heavy. I actually have this on me, I figured I'd show you guys.
Love.
The Melton,
Love
great
it.
all around, like
That Enthelios line.
The whole line. I love their chemical one in the
the
squarish.
fluid,
Yeah.
So
Oh my
that,
gosh, that was so good.
yeah, that would be one where I'm like, you might need a moisturizer underneath. They do want to make it feel very light, dry, you know, so it definitely depends on the type of sunscreen that you use.
Oh, you have to talk about the mirror.
Yes!
Ooh.
So I feel very guilty that I have to recommend Murad. This is a mineral.
It's a mineral that I even like. I would use this.
Oh.
and
Interesting.
doesn't leave a white cast. Beautiful texture. I hate that it is $60. I feel very guilty having to like recommend this, but I have yet to find one that outperforms this and like texture is nice. Because even with the LRP, the fluid tint that you recommended,
The mineral
darker-
version
yeah.
can still have a little bit of a white cast.
yeah, you can still see that films. And I was gonna say, like with La Roche-Posay, you know, when people say like, hey, I'm looking for a sunscreen, I don't know where to start. La Roche-Posay is probably the best range to start looking at because they have such a diverse profile. You can find creamy, you know, to dry, very dry, fluid. And then a classic Asian one, go-to, that's been around for decades is Bior Aqua Rich. So that, the little blue tube is one that we like to recommend as well. And I think for me, the one tip that like I think a lot of people forget is just there's a lot of common places we forget to apply sunscreen.
Ah, yes. Well, we are really guilty of that. So things like behind the ears and people
Ankles.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Ankles.
I
Wow,
get a
definitely
flip flop tan. Yeah, flip flop tan every summer because I tend to forget. This is why I always keep a spray because if I forget, I'm like just
Yeah.
Oh,
Makes sense.
It does make sense. You know how like my toes look like little black burnt sausages by the end of summer. It's so nasty. And then like they make comments like, why do your feet look so black? And they just look dirty, but they're just burnt. It's so not a
Wow,
look.
that's graphic.
Guilty.
And super guilty.
Thanks, pal.
Little burnt sausages.
So I think lips is probably the one that we like to remind people because lip skin actually does need extra help getting protection from the sun.
Just
And you forget about it.
yeah, pick up a balm with SPF. That will help. It has a flavor to it, but definitely covers up the sunscreen flavor. So like something basic
Like
this will help.
$2, super cheap, but your lips need help. I think a lot of people forget about it, and no one wants
My
like the
lips are starting to freckle too.
yeah, right here, around here, and then you know the lines around here. So
A freckle stash on your lip.
Maybe it'll be in one day. It's a special day.
Yeah. Maybe people will just start putting freckles on their moving it down from the cheeks to the lips.
It's like the
Drawing a
pigmented lip look.
Bro, we really have the same skin tone because I have freckles
I
too.
know.
I think the thing that I kind of want to add is a lot of people ask, oh, do you actually religiously every 2 hours reapply? And I definitely do not.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
all humans.
Yeah, the reality is, I'm sorry, I don't got an alarm on my watch that goes off every 2 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The two of us live in SoCal right now, and I will say, being so sunny outside, it helps us remember to reapply.
My hands!
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Oh my god, driving.
blaze my arms.
Whenever I go home, just even for 1 or 2 weeks, my left side of freckles, because you're driving,
Yes.
it's so much darker. I'm like, what? I just spent all of winter trying to like make you not as dark.
And then it's back again in
Yeah.
5 minutes.
Yeah.
Best anti-aging tip: tint your car windows, guys. Just do it.
So I think like actually all the questions we asked covered a lot of the IG questions. Maybe we'll save the IG questions for our next episode, where we also want to talk a bit more about like your products, get down into like more of the topics that you covered in Decoded. But do you want to ask our question?
Yes. So this is what we ask our guests on every episode. What does beauty within mean to you?
Oh, that's we're caught off guard with this one.
Emotions.
We didn't put it in the script.
What does it mean? I guess off the top of my head, that means enjoying your skincare journey. I think sometimes people get caught up with either chasing trends or feeling really overwhelmed and they need their skin to look a certain way by tomorrow. But it's a journey. It's about knowing that you're doing the best for your skin, like you're taking care of yourself, you're enjoying the routine. Like we work in skin science and of course we preach proud of that work, but we also really appreciate things that just make you feel happy. Like maybe it's a little hokey, maybe it's just a simple routine thing, but it's about really just taking care of yourself and enjoying the journey.
Placebo effect is a thing. And we're sad that we don't get that anymore.
The whole self-care industry.
Yeah, we're sad that we just
We
can't
can't enjoy
appreciate
that
that anymore. You know, but I think for me it's just, this is really probably cliche and lame, but it's just doing something that makes me happy, you know.
Lame? I'm just kidding.
Call her out. Don't let her say that.
Yeah, doing, like, I think there's definitely a pressure, you know, doing what we do in an industry that's all about how you look, and sometimes that's stressful, but I think that, hey, I don't need to have a 12-step routine. I look just fine with my 2 steps, you know? So it's just things like that at the end of it, I enjoy, you know, learning about skincare constantly, new formulations, new technology. I love everything about this. And yeah, that's it. That's the beauty of it. So, yeah.
Beautiful. Okay.
So before we say goodbye, we are doing a giveaway with the girls from Chemist Confessions. Everything will be linked down below and it'll be on our IG. We'll be giving away 10 of their Skincare Decoded books.
Yes.
And 3 people will win products as well. So all the details will be linked down below on our IG and it's open to the US.
Yes. But honestly, this book is awesome because like it just breaks everything down from cleansers, toners, serums, moisturizers, skin actives, all the questions that you guys always ask us and probably ask Gloria and Victoria. It's like answered all
If
here.
you guys enjoyed our 101 series, this is actually like a much more fleshed out, detailed version of that.
Yes. And they almost divorced each other writing this. So like so just like a little appreciation.
But hey, we're still here. We're all still here. It's all that matters.
So thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you Victoria and Gloria for joining us.
Thanks
Let
for
us
having
know.
us.
No, of course, and we want you back on very soon. So let us know what you want them to discuss with us in another upcoming episode.
We'll spill the tea on sunscreen, the industry, and we'll also just leave the link for this book down below as well if you guys just want to check it out.
Yeah. Any parting words from you guys?
Thanks for having us. It was so much fun. And if you have any questions, we always say just write to us. We really try
Plug
to
yourself. Plug yourself. Where can we find you?
You can find us on Instagram at chemist.confessions, or you can email us, find us on our website, chemistconfessions.com.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So much info. Everyone must digest now. Bye and see you next time.
Are we ready?
Not singers or performers, but
We're gonna be looking at the main camera, and then we'll intro you guys, and then that's probably in editing will we cut to you guys. So
Okay.
your face can look however it wants right now until we pass it on to you guys.
But actually, we might end up using like all the footage. So
Well, thanks.
God damn it.
Thank you.
yes.